Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to cover 5 key tips you can use to make your relationships last longer if you are a fearful avoidant attachment style. So this is a topic I had requested from so many different individuals. I think it's an awesome idea, and I'm going to go through 5 keys. The very first thing that's super important for fearful avoidance is to communicate through things. Fearful avoidance, if you pay attention to your inner world, no matter how much you don't want to talk about something because you feel uncomfortable or vulnerable, holding things in does not work. It's almost always going to come out in some kind of different form. So let's just say, for example, you're upset about something that happened. Maybe you didn't get a need met and you felt it was ignored. Maybe a core wound was triggered, whatever it might be. If you don't talk about it and actually try to resolve it, what you're going to find is you try to hold it in, and then later you just get upset about something else or frustrated about something else. And it's because fearful avoidants are such big feelers. They feel, they experience. And so you have a duty to yourself to be able to actually work through things, communicate about things. Super important tip. Number 2, share your needs too. Sometimes fearful avoidance can be very good at reading between the lines with their hypervigilance and being able to spot what other people need. But when you don't insert your own needs into a relationship, your relationships are going to become imbalanced where you feel like you're always giving and then not receiving. And that's just going to lead to resentment and burnout long term. And those are really important things to do. And eventually fearful avoidance end up kind of like pushing people away that they feel that way from. And then the person sort of left being confused or not really understanding. So really important tip. By the way, if you want to do it just super deep dive for free for 7 days into a course, you can complete a course in 7 days. Do the Intro to Fearful Avoidant Attachment Style Reprogramming course. Super amazing course, really helpful workbook, exercises, worksheets that are just going to save you time and money to reprogram your attachment style. So you can click the link in the description box below, and it's going to say healthy and passionate relationships after emotional pain. And then in brackets, fearful avoidant reprogramming. And this is your course if you want to do that deep dive. And again, we're only right now offering our 7-day free trial to our YouTube channel. We're not doing it for anybody else coming to our website, anything like that. We may not be running it that much longer. So take the opportunity while you can. Number 3 is questioning the meaning you give to things. Like, it's so easy to assume that because there's a change in a pattern that somebody's going to break your trust or you can't trust them at all. But it's really hard on the fearful avoidant. It's really tough to like build up those feelings, those perceptions. Sometimes those things are true. Sometimes they're not true, but you have to do your due diligence to like actually have a conversation and not just make assumptions. And sometimes fearful avoidants, they've seen a lot, right? And they've been through a lot. And so it can be really easy to assume the worst case scenario. And this is how our subconscious mind adapts when it's been through trauma. But that's also a way that the subconscious kind of accidentally keeps trauma alive, because we keep jumping to those conclusions, feeling hurt, pushing people away, where you actually could work through some of those things by saying, hey, look, I noticed this thing came up. This is what I need, or this is my boundary, or whatever it might be that you need to resolve it. Having the conversation and seeing that actually when you share yourself, you talk, you discuss what your needs are, your boundaries are, and you tell people what's appropriate for you and not okay with you, you'll find that people actually are quite willing to work with you on that and work through things with you in relationships. That brings me to number 4, which is learning to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is crucial and key. And it's also part of the antidote to emotional volatility, which can be really tough on relationships. So when you get the opportunity to be able to say like, this is hard for me, I feel afraid, I feel uncomfortable, and actually express your feelings and your experience and your perceptions with people, you'll see that people actually respond quite well again. And it's so scary when you've been through stuff, because usually you're used to feeling like, no, vulnerability got me hurt when I was around other people in the past, but you have to break that pattern somewhere. And it starts with you having the courage to be able to do that and to find the people around you who are going to respond properly to that, and having standards in your life to say, these are the people that I want in my life, and people who are not going to show up in a healthy way when I'm being vulnerable are not necessarily the people I want to surround myself with. So that becomes huge as well. And number 5 is being able to take time out for yourself. And that means setting boundaries, allowing yourself to take time out for you. And this is huge and just so important going forward, because sometimes people wouldn't burn themselves out by just throwing themselves into all of their relationships, all of their things that they're doing in all these different areas of life. And it can be really, really easy to feel like, oh my gosh, this is too much, and to take on more than you even are consciously realizing, because it may be a subconscious comfort zone from childhood. So when you can make sure that you set that intention to have boundaries, make time for you, this allows your relationships to be nurtured in a healthy way, and for you to not feel like you have to choose between yourself and somebody else. And so push them away eventually when you feel like, oh my gosh, I need that time to myself. They don't have to be mutually exclusive things. So 5 really important tips. Hopefully this is helpful for you. If you want to do a deeper dive, check out the Fearful Avoidant Reprogramming course, link in the description box below. And thank you so much for being here and for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in tomorrow's video.